welcome to today's episode of Shift, S.H.I.F.T, simply helping individuals to find their true purpose, their true passion. Today, we're going to focus on the 3 simple things that you need to get you to create anything that you desire in life. Thanks for joining us. My name is Palmonia Gordon. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an author, I'm a mom. Have a background in corporate America, did 23 years at the post office before I picked up my bag to go to work one day, and the thought of going postal made sense. So I had to shift. The best way to remember shift is to think of a clock that has a minute hand, a second hand, and an hour hand. The second hand does 60 small ticks before the minute hand does 1 tick. And the minute hand does 60 small ticks before the hour hand does 1 tick. So shift is about us taking the time to share through our thoughts, through our talents, through our truth, through our stories together, all our experiences that will allow us to shift and to move day by day into who we are destined to be, to become better. There's a quote here I have from Emerson. What's his name? My bad. From Dr. Albert Edward Wiggin. And he says, in order to win, we need to have the strongest force within you. The strongest force that we have within us is the mental picture we hold of ourselves. And as I've learned and as I've grown and as I have been shifting, one of the things I've come to realize that the life that I am living today is as a result of a picture that was created from my past. Something that was said. So the 3 areas we're going to focus on are our thoughts, our words, and our action, and how all 3 combine create the life that we live. Our thoughts is something that it's unconscious. Some of it we are aware of it consciously, some of it we are not. But whether or not you're aware of it, just like how the clock is ticking, and you're not seeing it every second that the second hand tick or every minute that the minute hand moves, but you look up, oh, it was 1 o'clock. Oh, now it's 2 o'clock. So it happens with or without you. You don't need to really do anything for that process to happen. And it's the same thing with our thoughts. We have conscious thoughts and we have unconscious thoughts. So I want us to pay attention to both our conscious and our unconscious thought, because our unconscious thoughts are the things that happen around us. What do you hear on the news? What did the person beside you say? What kind of conversations are we hearing? We are not aware of the fact that these conversations are in fact seeds. Every thought we have is a seed. And whether or not we know it, we are a soil that we take these seeds and we give it root and we give it life, and it begins to bear. Thoughts are tiny seeds that we plant in our imagination, conscious or unconscious, like I said, right? Now, I was out with my kids yesterday, and as we're leaving the event, my 8-year-old started singing this song, and his sister said to him, I thought you didn't like that song. He goes, I don't, but it's so catchy. And that's how things affect us in our subconscious. We may find ourselves doing or saying things that we don't really like. It's even not even a part of us. It's like, why am I doing this? I don't even like this. But because subconsciously it's in our mind, it's been planted as a seed, and we didn't take time to remove that seed, or when that seed starts to grow, we have to create another thought that is positive, that will counteract and eliminate. And that's where we have to take our conscious thought to eliminate the unconscious thought. Now, if a 7 and an 8-year-old can be impacted just by a song that they hear on the air, what about you as an adult? You're focused on work, you're focused on kids, you're focused on life, you're focused on job, you're focused on a business. How many unconscious thoughts or ideas do you have that's flowing into you, that's bombarding you? Are you conscious when you go to bed at night? What are the thoughts that are because that is one of the most fertile moments in our life. Just before you go to bed, whatever you're thinking about, that's what you're more likely to create, most likely to create than anything else. So then you have to be conscious to say, what will I think about before I go to bed? And you make that a habit, that you write that thought, you think that thought, you say it as a prayer. Now, the next thing is our words. So we have to pay attention to our thoughts so we can shift them. Just as my son with the song, once he becomes conscious, oh, I don't like this song, I'm not going to sing it. As a matter of fact, I know we told you that I keep it real on here. We talk about our truth. I actually blew up at my daughter last night because she overheard me talking, and there's one creature that I don't really like. And she kept saying, Mom, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? And I got mad. I'm like, don't ask me that. Because what I teach them, or what I am teaching is, if I don't like something, I have a choice as to whether or not I choose to bring it into my space. That's a shift that I can make. That's a shift that I choose to make. If I'm outside standing up and someone comes who is smoking and I don't smoke, I can do two things. I can ask them, hey, no, I'm not really into smoke. I have really bad sinuses. Is it okay if you smoke someplace else? If they don't move, now it's my choice. So I apologize to my daughter and everything, but I had to make her aware that with her constantly bringing it up, she is trying to introduce something into my space and my consciousness that is something that I don't want to associate with. And that's what we have to do when we make conscious decision in terms of our thoughts. If you're at work and you don't like the conversation and you feel, okay, I can't get out of this one, it's always okay to go to the bathroom. I'm sorry. Go there and stay there as long as, if you go into the conversations, go back. Oh, I think I have the runs. Right? Who's going to question that? Then the next thing we have to focus on is our words. My son had the song playing in his head. He knows he doesn't like it because when my daughter said, "Oh, but you don't like it," he goes, "Yeah, but it's so catchy." So it's in his head, and subconsciously, he allowed himself to speak the word. So the more you speak the word, you're actually adding fertilizer or water onto that seed of thought. So your thought is the seed, your words or fertilizer or water. Whatever your thought is, when you speak it into being, now you have actually started the growing process because you're adding the nutrients that thought created. Right? So if it's something negative and you don't want to have it at all, don't say it. Don't say to somebody, "Oh, I don't feel," no. And I know some of you may think, "Hey, you know what? You're crazy," or "It doesn't work." But just take the shift. Take a shift of faith and say, "I've tried X, Y, and Z, and I am still at the same place. So how about I make the shift just a little bit and just try this? Be conscious of what it is that I'm saying. If the story is not a good story, don't repeat the story. Bury the story and leave it there. It is dead. Because the more you are speaking the story, the more life it is getting, the more it's becoming real. You are making it true the more you speak about it. So we have to learn to shift our thoughts the way we think. We have to learn to shift the words we use, how we speak. And then the third shift is we have to take action. We have to take action that is in alignment with what we want. If I give you the key to my car and I say go to the store, and you go outside and you sit in the car and you don't turn it on, you don't put it in drive, you don't put your foot on the gas, how far will you go? So the taking the action is once you become conscious of the thoughts, of your words, and of most of all, what do I want to create in my life? How do I want to create my life? What kind of a life do I want to create? Your next action is to take pen to paper and write it down. You want to put it someplace that you can see it, that now becomes the conscious reminder. Because when we create, we use all our senses. We use our eyes, our ears, our feeling. We use our emotions. We use our... If you would like to go on a vacation, imagine yourself on the beach. See yourself on the beach. Feel the water. Feel the sun. Feel the cold drink that they give you. Get a picture that looks like where you'd want to go. Put it up. Take the action. Go on a website. Call up a travel agent. Check the cost, the price for a trip to anywhere. And then keep seeing that. Keep doing that. One of the things I've come to understand and realize in creating and designing your life, it's not my job to figure out the process. It's not my job to figure out how I'm going to get what I want. My job is to create the picture and the image in my imagination, to use my thoughts, my words, and my action, and to believe. Believe is rocket fuel for everything that you do. Remember, small shift, little by little. I know for some of us, because we've had some of these habits for so long, it's not easy to get rid of. But if you're willing, and if you will make the shift and say, I will do this one thing. Do this one thing for 30 days. Pay attention to my thoughts. Just be conscious of how I think. Be conscious of the ideas that are running through my mind when I'm driving, like, oh my God, you're going to scare yourself. And once you become conscious of that, now you start shifting and thinking differently. And then you'll start speaking differently. And that will affect your actions, which ultimately is going to affect the results that you have in your life. I'm your host, Palmonia. Thank you for joining me on this episode of The Shift. Remember, we have to shift our thoughts, we have to shift our words, and we have to shift the actions that we take. I know that you are a winner. You're made for success. You're made for greatness. And I want you to shift 1 second at a time. See you next time as we share our thoughts, our truth, our talents, our stories, as we share who we are together and become more. Love you. Have a good day.